Hi! Thank you for clicking on this video. It actually means a lot to me. As I'm sure you can see by the title, this is a video showing you how we would make our haunted garage. It's something we did for a very long time while we were living at my mom's house. She recently moved, so we won't be continuing at this house. The first thing we do is to set up the basic walls and the layout for how we're gonna have it set up. To do this, we clothespin black tarps onto some wires. The black tarps we get in just one big giant roll and we cut them to the length we want it to be. We measure it from the wire down. The wire system that we have in our garage, we actually set up ourselves. It wasn't something that came with it. We had our cousin install some wires. The basic outline for the wires is that we have 4 all along the edges of the garage. It's not all the way up against the wall. There's enough room between it so that we can get between the walls if we wanted to. These 4 wires tend to be very tight and they don't have very much slack, so if you hang something heavy on it, it will stay there. And then we have 2 other wires that are attached to it to form the inside walls. These wires are a lot looser and we actually had to install some hanging from the ceilings in order to get them to stay there when we had heavy stuff on them. And then we have a whole bunch of extra little wires that we can always just attach and detach from any of these wires as we please. And we just kind of do it a different way every single year. So then when we're doing the basic outline of the walls, we basically just go around the 3 edges of the inside and leave the part where the garage is open so that we can have an entrance and exit, and then with that we kind of just figure it out as we go. But as you may have noticed, we did leave an empty spot in the 3 basic walls, and that is so that we are able to get in and out of the house. We always reattach it on Halloween night so that people don't think they can go into our house. But for now we leave it open until Halloween night basically. And we are starting to move on into the inner walls. Now this is something that we usually change every year, but basically we have tarps on the 2 hanging wires on the inside to provide an exit and an entrance. And then the back wall we tend to leave open for people to walk through so that we can put decorations up there that people won't necessarily see. So the basic walls are basically, like the 3 outside walls are the same every single year. It's the inside walls that tend to change. The inside walls you can always kind of have a zigzag in between, but I wouldn't suggest it just because a garage is a very small place to do all of this.
What I use. Alright, I'll try to find that one though. I'm curious though, you started talking to Kurtie.
Whoa!
Hopefully it's the right
What is that?
That's my timer!
Wait, is this for a class?
No, it's
This
just
is
for
like the
fun.
umbrella and stuff. I was like, this is
Huh?
fancy.
Oh, it was raining and I didn't want it to rain on this, so...
Huh, either way, I thought this was like a professional setup over here. I was
Well,
like,
I mean, it
it is. Oh my gosh.
It's
for YouTube.
Oh, you have a YouTube.
No, but I'm going to.
And it's him. Like, I was like, yeah, that's him.
Like your Twitter.
Yeah, it will be like my Twitter. I might have to end up getting a Twitter.
Oh, you will. I'll follow you on there too.
A lot of the time, it's really honestly just sitting and talking about what we want to do, or basically just talking in general. It's something you really kind of just don't want to take too seriously because it's supposed to be fun. Definitely recommend figuring out the layout of how you want it to be before you start, because as you can see, we took a lot of time just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I just found this.
We have some more over there behind everything. Oh my god!
That would have been awesome on the camera.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I have to do that.
And then have a little
Is
baby.
this even yours?
Because I got the little. But I said, our computer's not going to sit. But I said, our computer's not going to sit. But I said.
While we are hanging up the walls, we're also clipping them together so that when the wind blows, it doesn't take them apart and ruin everything. we didn't figure this out until a couple years in. At first we were taping the walls to the floor and the tape that wasn't really sticking, but clipping them together does keep it in a nice orderly fashion, I guess you can say. Again, more talking and staring at it until we figure something out. This happens a lot. Once the walls are up, it's time to move to the inside to decorate everything. Access to a lot of plugs or extension cords because a lot of things need to be plugged in, as we have figured out.
Probably took it downstairs and they're using it downstairs. We'll have to get another one.
I think we have one that's about for you.
But it's right on the camera.
Is it on?
Yes, it is.
Why? Turn it off.
Decorations that don't necessarily need plugins, which is totally fine. That's up to you. Just with ours, we had a lot of plugs. Austin is plugging the fog machine into our ceiling because that's one of our closest plugs.
Have to have it on standby to. I think I better read the instructions.
Maybe.
Fog filled bubbles. This is gonna be like the coolest thing.
Like a party.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna want to hang out here for Halloween.
Yes, yes.
The kids won't be terrified to come in anymore. Exactly.
False advertising.
Yeah.
Where the fun bubbles are. And then get scared to death. This is not a toy. Use only with adults. Okay.
Always make sure you read the instructions so you know what you're doing. We read instructions a lot and still half the time have no idea. This is a bubble fogger and we couldn't figure out how to get the bubbles to come out. We had put the bubble juice into where the fogger juice needed to be, but we got that figured out and got it to work eventually.
It's fine. She got through it when we talked about it.
You know what?
Maybe this is a light that's supposed to glow on. Oh wait, maybe not.
I did.
Fog juice. The bubble juice goes in there. We figured it out.
That could be a slight problem.
Yeah, so that one is fog juice. I wonder if this is...
Hopefully you didn't break it. Or is that both? No?
No, this is bubble juice. But we
What's
have
fog
fog. We
juice?
have fog juice.
What the f-
We have it back here.
No wonder it's not.
At least we had it back here. Yeah, right here. But I mean, the fog juice came out as, or the bubble juice came out as fog.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are both.
Oh. Ooh.
I don't know which one is opened already. Probably that one. But we could take them both up there.
I think they both look like they're in there.
Yeah.
Maybe they are.
Well, how do we go about fixing this? Do you like try to unplug
You know-
that back in here, or
No, I think it might work in there because it was still fogging.
so just put bubbles in here then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause see, it
fogs.
still fogs.
I thought it was supposed to go up levels.
So on standby, and then we could put. Let's put a little bit in here and see how that works.
Just right there.
Yeah.
For bubble juice only.
Yeah, cause look, and there's the full empty line.
Alright, I guess we'll go for it. We'll put a little bit in and see what happens. I'm scared. I'm very scared. Oh gosh.
Yeah, keep going. I don't even see any.
I don't know. I'm scared. Try it. Turn
Yeah.
it on. I don't want to. Oh. Maybe it needs more.
Probably needs more.
Okay, let's see. Turn that baby off.
Yeah, so now it's
There
like
we
right
go.
there. Put a little bit more in. Okay, now let's try it.
Oh
There we
my
go.
God, these things are awesome.
Put it down here and leave the table here.
Oh, the bomb.
Once we did figure out how it worked, we had to decide where to put it. Now we chose to put it on the table just because when it was on the floor, the bubbles did not go very high.
What the dickens? I might have diabetes.
Have what?
Diabetes.
Oh, okay, that's fun. As you can tell, my cousin definitely says a lot of strange things. I almost want to make a video just purely of the things he says because it is ridiculous.
Oh,
He's such a
Oh,
cute
damn.
little baby. Oh, such a cute mother and daughter.
Oh, I thought it was a boy, but okay.
You know, it's a girl, obviously. Can't you tell by the hips?
By the hips. Look at those baby making hips. Grandchildren.
Yes.
Ready to come out of this one. Where's the littlest ones?
Right here.
Oh. Maybe this one.
Actually, you know what? This one might not be.
okay.
Take this one. I think we have one that's smaller.
Hey, did you check out the bone? I could slow dance with the other one.
Is it still? Is it working now?
Yeah, yes.
I think this one might be smaller.
I'll take two.
Lovely. Oh, it's so beautiful, so elegant.
A wonderful mother.
Okay, let's
I
go
want to
look
slow
at
dance
the
with the other one.
with the other one.
The bigger one.
We then moved to the outside to hang the skeletons onto the wall to make it look like they were climbing up the wall. You really just kind of need to have fun while you're doing this, like I said earlier, because if you're not having fun, then it's just not worth doing.
See, the thing is, it's coming down here. You feel it down here.
Yeah.
Well, I like smashed my thumb.
Oh, that's dumb. So nice. The nail is bending now. Okay, try it. The nail is not really secure, but that's okay.
That's okay.
As long as you're... Hey, Austin, where's the scissors?
You're so helpful.
Don't worry.
His arm over there has a tag on it.
Oh, okay. I wish I could feel my thumb. Seriously, it hurts.
Oh, okay, all right. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have to. We'll find him in the morning. Hat, what do I do?
Just hold it.
Is it already still recording? Yeah, it is.
Should be. What time is it at?
Ooh, ow.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, where was it? Right here.
Oh,
Oh my
see? Hey, something's not right.
What'd
I don't know. Something. I'm at 2 seconds.
I know where you
That's what I hit.
are. I know that's what you hit. But it's not what you hit.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, let me do this. I thought it was there. No?
At this point, my mom tried to take over recording, and didn't necessarily work out. However, she did eventually get it and found a way for us to have a light, which was very helpful.
This looks like we're on like a TV show right now. Like, look at this.
Yeah, it really does. Oh God, you're going in.
Don't make me laugh.
Skeletons like this, you should line up where you want them to be and then take a nail and hammer it into the concrete, which is the softest part, rather than the brick. Your wall may be different as well, so it may be easier to hammer in, but basically just take the nail and hammer it in, and then take the skeleton and push the nail through the bones so that it'll lay there. We had a hard time doing this because if we took the nail out of the wall, it wouldn't go back in unless we hammered it, and we didn't want to ruin the skeletons. So it was a matter of us just basically pushing it on there until it fit. To go back in and decorate some more. The decoration is what takes the longest for sure. It's a matter of looking at it and figuring out where you want all of your decorations to be. It's really a matter of how you want to do it and what supplies you have available to you. We have collected things from Spirit throughout the years because, like I said, we have been doing this for many years now, and every single year we get something new. Have a lot of decorations at our disposal. Things you hang, basically we just clothespin the strings that they came on to the wires. A lot of things that are meant to be hung up do have strings already attached to them because they know that it's going to need to be hung somehow. Some things don't necessarily have strings because they're not expected to be like that, but with some of them you can easily tape them up if they're light enough, or you can just put them on the floor, which was a lot of what we did. You want to make sure to disperse it around the whole entire garage, because if it's just in one main spot, it's not going to look as good. You want to make sure it looks spooky, but since we have a lot of kids that come around, we don't make it too scary. You just want to have fun with it and make it look as nice as you want. If you want to go a bit scarier, you're more than welcome to. We just don't ever choose to. So this is now the finished product of everything we had. Something that I didn't necessarily touch on was the lighting. I didn't really show how it was set up because I wasn't sure if I was actually going to upload this video or not. However, the lighting is one of the most important things. Since the haunted houses tend to go at night for Halloween, you really want to make sure everything is lit up. We have a whole bunch of strobe lights or just flashing lights, or really just any kind of light to give it a spooky ambiance, and we have it pointed at the main things that aren't already lit up or wouldn't be able to see basically without the lights. A lot of them we attach with clothespins to the upper wires so that it's coming in from above. Some of them we have on the floors and from underneath, but honestly it's just how you want it to look. It's a lot of playing around with it to figure out how you want it to be, because it definitely does not turn out the first time, and it takes a lot of practice to really get used to it. Another thing that I didn't really touch on was the ceiling. We did grab more black tarp that we cut to size. These ones are a little bit bigger, which, as you saw in the beginning, I was separating the walls from the ceiling because the ceilings are a lot bigger, and it doesn't necessarily take as many just because the ceiling isn't as big of a spot. compared to all of the walling you need. However, we basically just cut bigger pieces and we put it over the whole thing and clothespinned it. The reason we did this is because we tend to leave the garage light on and we didn't want that to come through into the haunted garage. Normally we would try to use the clothespins we already have and put them on the outside. However, this just became a huge hassle and it just wasn't worth it anymore. So if the clothespins are showing through the ceiling, that's totally fine because more than likely the lights won't actually be shining up to them to show them. So if you just want to leave them, that's fine. If you want to try to put them above the ceiling, then that's fine as well. It just takes a lot more effort. Spider webs is always a must-have for haunted garages. It adds a little bit more spooky to it. Spider webs are not my favorite thing to do. My mom, however, tends to do them every year, and we tend to get new spider webs every year just because the old ones get really gross. So really, honestly, the spider webs are how you want to do them, but I would recommend getting plastic bugs and throwing them in there to make it a little bit more creepy. Basically, just throw them all around the haunted house and it'll look great. And of course, you can't forget the table of candy. So with this table, we have a very large table and we tend to do at least 3 bowls of candy and other plates full of things such as bugs or cut off fingers or any of those spooky things. For you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did have any questions about anything that I didn't necessarily touch on and you were wondering about, just leave it in the comments and I'll try to answer your question. If you like this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That'd be appreciated. I hope you have a good day. Thank you.